Hello, my dear students. I will explain now homework 7, AS student, AS EDEXCEL. I will explain homework 7. Okay. So he said in the first question, the unit for power is the watt, which of the following is equivalent to what? So from the equation sheet, we can find power equal energy over time. Power, energy over time. You can take any type of energy, kinetic energy or gravitational potential energy. I will choose kinetic energy, it will be easier. Kinetic energy equal half mass v squared over time. Now I will write the unit of what mass is kilogram and unit of speed squared divided by time, okay, which is second, and the unit of velocity or speed is meter per second, so it's meter second minus 1, right? Now I will make the power into the bracket. It will be kilogram meter squared second minus 2, okay, over second. Now over second means second minus 1. It will be kilogram meter squared second minus 3, because if you put second from the bottom to the top, it must be with -1 power -1. So the correct answer is D. Measured quantities can be either vector or scalar. Select the row from the table that is not correct. Not correct. So temperature, scalar, right. Second, scalar, time is scalar quantity, yes. Negative meter per second squared, it means acceleration is a vector, correct. Joule, which is energy. Energy is a scalar, not vector, so this is incorrect, so I will choose D. A projectile is launched at an angle theta to the horizontal and take a time t to reach its maximum height. So we'll start with U and theta, and it moving up until maximum height. And as you know, at each maximum height, v equal what? 0. And he takes this time to move to the maximum height. Which of the following equation could be used to determine the initial velocity? So as you know, we have v equal, from the equation sheet also you can find it, v equal u, because we have a projectile motion, so we have ux and uy. Ux is u cosine theta and ui is u sine theta. Okay, so we will use u sine theta because we are talking about the vertical velocity, so it will be u sine theta. And because the object is moving up against the gravitational force, so it will be negative minus gt. Okay, now we want to find the equation, how to find u, because at maximum height v equals 0, 0 equal u sine theta minus gt. Now he want to find u. Move minus gt to the other side with different sign, positive, so it will be gt equal u sine theta. Now I want u only, I have to divide by sine theta in both terms, so now we have u equal gt over sine theta, so I will choose C. A box of mass m is pulled along the floor by a horizontal rope. The tension in the rope is T, so we have a tension force Ft. Okay. The box moves from rest with average acceleration A, so we have also acceleration. Which of the following is the correct expression for frictional force? First you have to draw where is the frictional force. I will erase طبعا force is first. So we have two types of forces: applied force in the same direction of motion, and we have a friction force. Friction. F. I mean friction. Okay. And he said the object moving with average acceleration, so I will use resultant force equal mass multiply acceleration. What is the resultant force? Tangent force minus friction force. And I start with tangent force because the object is moving in this direction. It means T greater than friction. Okay, because he's accelerate, it means he will move in the same direction of motion. The bigger force is the same direction of motion. T minus F equal ma. He want to find F. You can move F to the other side with positive sign. So now we have T equal ma plus F. I want F only, so I have to move ma to the other side with negative. So it will be T minus ma equal F. So F equal T minus ma, F equal T minus ma, so this will be B. A mass is fixed to one end of metal rod, which is pivoted at the other end. The mass and metal rod are held horizontally and released, as shown in the first diagram. The mass moves to its final position, as shown in the second diagram. So it starts from here, and the end is here. Okay, which of the following is in the graph of gravitational potential energy, EG, of the mass against vertical displacement? So now you have to know where is the vertical displacement for the motion. Vertical displacement, okay, displacement is different from distance. If you take all this from here to here, displacement equals 0. But he said vertical displacement. This is a vertical displacement. This is a vertical displacement. Okay. Because displacement is the shortest line from the start point to the end point. And he said vertical displacement. He means this is a vertical displacement. Okay, from the highest point to the lowest point. And as you know, gravitational potential energy equal mgh. So now what happened to h? H decreased. As h decreased, gravitational potential also decreased. As displacement increase, you start from here and you move. As displacement increase, what happened to GPE? Decrease. So this is why I have to choose B. As vertical displacement increase, what happened to GPE? Decrease. Physical quantity are either scalar or vector. Select the row of the table which correctly identifies a scalar quantity and a vector quantity. Scalar power is a scalar, but work is a scalar also, so this is incorrect. Velocity is a vector, so this is incorrect. Weight is a vector, so this is incorrect. Work is a scalar, right. Weight is vector, right, so I will choose D. The manufacturer of a car claimed that the car can accelerate from rest. From rest it means U equals 0 to V equals 30 meters second minus 1 at time equals 7.5. What is the average acceleration? Acceleration equal V minus U over T. So it will be 30 minus 0 over 7.5 equal 4. So the answer is C, 4. These spheres P, Q and R of the same mass. So mass is the same. Are lifted from the ground and suspended from a rigid support as shown. The greatest change in gravitational potential energy is seen in a sphere. As you know, gravitational potential energy, change in gravitational equal mass multiply G multiply delta H. Okay, and because all have the same mass and G is constant, we will compare between them for delta H. As you see, okay, as you see from here, we have B and Q has the same height, so same distance moved, but R lower distance. It means what? It means as higher distance moved up, okay, higher height, this will be greater GPE. So this is why I have to choose. P and Q is the same because they have the same height. So B and Q, greatest gravitational potential energy. A displacement time graph for the motion of an object is shown. Which of the following statement is correct? Now, if we want to describe this motion, this displacement time graph, we will say the object decelerate, because as you see, velocity is the gradient of the line, and because the gradient of the line decrease, the gradient of the line decrease, it means what? It means speed or velocity decrease, so the object decelerates. There is a decreasing resultant force acting on the object in the direction of motion. This will be wrong, because if you want deceleration, the force must be against or opposite direction, opposite motion. So to decelerate, the net force or the resultant force must be opposite direction of motion. So A is incorrect. There is an increasing resultant force acting on the object in the direction of motion. Also, this is incorrect. There is a resultant force acting on the object opposite to the direction of motion. This is right. There is no resultant force. This is wrong, because if you have no resultant force, the speed must be constant. It means it will be shown as a straight line, okay, with a constant gradient. So C is correct. Now we are moving to the next question. A box is placed on a table. The box and table are both stationary. We have box, table, flow. The diagram shows the direction of the forces acting on the box and on the table. So what's the forces act box? We have force of table and weight of box. Okay, what about table? Force of floor on table and weight of the table down, and force of box on table F1 T. Okay, now, which pair of forces are equal in magnitude according to Newton's first law? First, you have to know, if you are talking about Newton's first law, it needs only one object. One object. Forces affect one object. So I will choose NB, force of table on box, and weight of box, because both affect the box. Okay, if you look to the other forces, he said force of floor on table, so it's affect table. Force of box on table, that affect table. Okay, so but it's not in equilibrium, because we need forces in Newton's first law, it must be equal and in opposite direction. Okay, so we need force affect the object up and down equal. So we have here many forces, so it will not balance with the force, so we can't choose for table. So our answer will be N box and W box. So W box and N box. C is correct. Then he said, which pair of forces are equal in magnitude according to Newton's third law? Newton's third law need two objects and same type of force. So you have to look, two forces affect two objects and they have same type. So he said force on table, force of table on box. Now I will search for the opposite, force of box on table. Force of box and table, yes, because these forces affect two different objects and same type. If you want to choose another thing, you will find what? For example, weight of box WB, weight of table WT. Okay, but Weight of box affect the box. Weight of table affect the table. So they are not equal. It must be equal also. So is the weight of table equals the weight of box? It will not correct because he didn't mention to this. Okay, so I will choose two forces, same amount, action and reaction. So it will be, as I said, weight, a force of table on box, this one, and force of box on table as a reaction, this will be 2. So it will be NB equal FT and NT. NB and FT. Where is it? NB and FT. Yes, this is A. Which of the following quantities could have unit of Newton meter second minus 1? Newton meter second minus 1. Newton meter is the work. Second minus 1, it means divided by time. So if you look to the equation sheet, you will find it work over time equal what? Equal power. So it will be power. The equation delta W equal F delta S. Delta W is work and F is force. Delta S is what? Delta S is displacement. So work is a scalar, force is vector, displacement is vector. So you have to use scalar, vector, vector. So B is correct. A box is pulled up a ramp using a rope as shown. The box moved at a constant speed. What's the meaning of constant speed? It means the net force equals 0. Okay. The force acting on the box is weight down, friction force, and tension rope, and normal contact force. So I can draw it. We have tension force, we have normal reaction force, we have weight, and friction force. But pay attention. If the object is moving with a constant speed, it means what? The force up equal force down. So what is the force up? R. So the force down will be what? Wy, the vertical component of weight. Also, so I have to extend weight. So this is the vertical component of weight. Also, weight has a horizontal component here. Okay, so as you see, R equal Wy. So T must equal both F friction and W horizontal. So the vector T must be longer than vector or arrow F. So this is why I will choose A. Because of course you can't choose what? You can't choose R. This is incorrect because R must be like this from the diagram. You have to draw on the diagram, then choose your correct answer. Okay, so all of this is incorrect because R is drawn as a like this, but this is the surface, it must be like this. So this is why B and D is incorrect. So you have to choose between A and C. C is incorrect because what? Because he draw force and friction force and the tension force is equal. This is incorrect because if you resolve the W, it will give you a horizontal component, W horizontal or Wx, so it will be greater than T. This is why T must be longer, so I will choose it. A ball is dropped and is caught after the first bounce. The ball takes 1.6 seconds to reach the ground. So you drop a ball from here to ground, it takes time equal 1.6. Of course when you drop the object it starts from rest and move with a 9.81 acceleration. Okay, so he asked what is the height was the ball dropped. You can use SU vat equation from the equation sheet to find distance moved or height moved. So it will be ut plus half gt squared equal u is 0, so this term equals 0, half multiply 9.81 multiply t squared, which is 1.6 squared. It will equal 12.6. Okay, so it's about 13. I have to choose B. Which of the following is the velocity time graph for the motion of the ball? Now the ball is dropped and bounce. So what's happened when it bounce? Okay, the ball is dropped until after bounce it will what? Some of its energy is absorbed by the surface. So of course if it reach for here, for example with a velocity 30, it will change direction, so it will move with start moving with velocity negative, for example 20, because a part of the kinetic energy is absorbed as heat, transferred to heat, so it will bounce with a smaller kinetic energy. Okay, this is why he start with a smaller when the different and opposite direction of motion. So you can't choose, of course you can't choose A or B, because at A or B he starts from what? From a specific value for velocity, but in fact we start with what? With 0, so we have to draw from 0. Okay, also we can't choose C, because from the drawing the final velocity in the first pass here is lower than initial velocity here, so this is incorrect. The opposite is correct. So I start from 0, my speed increase until reach to the maximum, for example as I said 30. Now it will change direction with a smaller one, because after impact some of energy is absorbed by the surface. So for example it will start with negative 20 and then it will speed decrease until reach to 0 at the maximum height it will reach here, for example. So D is the correct answer. Okay, this is the multiple choice question. See you in the next part.